Hey, what's up, YouTube? Shout out to all my subscribers. I hope you guys are enjoying these walk and talks. This one right here, I just want to cover a couple different things. Stuff that just constantly cross my mind and how society is unfolding and the different awarenesses within the society. You have the so-called black culture. All everybody talking about too is getting the bag. Get money, I'm shining, bling, 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 whatever. And, of course, you got other cultures that are influenced by blacks and stuff like that. But then you also have the culture who's paying attention to politics, paying attention to the fact what's going on with our government and the wars that's going on and how close it can actually hit our front doors, and the trucking industry, how the trucks are being broken into and parts taken out to stop the supply chain, and how the farmers are struggling and the farmers are fighting back. You got all these different communities. But now I want to rewind it back to the black community, the ones with their eyes wide shut. And not even just the black, trust me. You got people who are really suffering from the mental aspect of normalcy bias. Everybody wants things to go back to normal, but things are not going to go back to normal. And it's getting worse and worse each month. And shame on you husbands and fathers, you men who suffer from this. Because a lot of you guys are cowards. Y'all just want things to go right back to normal. Scared. But unfortunately, I got bad news. It's not going to go back to normal. So basically, I was thinking about just like how, everyone has animals. About a month or two ago, there was certain cat food that wasn't even available. I had given my cat certain cat food, and it was so challenging to come across, and I'm on the road all the time, so I stop at different stores, and I still will never be able to get the specific cat food that I want. I'm like, dang. I mean, it was, the aisles were empty, and they're still pretty much empty, and I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Dog food been okay, and all that. But then I started thinking about the scenarios, like when I do some of the training with the dogs, and I'm like, dang, these dogs are biting. Like my dogs, they bite pretty good, but to me, I feel like they don't bite that hard on my sleeve because it's me. Now, when I've trained my dogs with other people, they be like, damn, they bite hard because they're other people. And then I take the situation, what if my dogs or other dogs in the community, what if they didn't have any food and the owners had to just let them go? The owners just like let them out the backyard so that they can fend for themselves. And all these community domesticated dogs, all these dogs who are hungry and thirsty, what would they do? Now, this is the scenario. What would they do? No pool. What would they do? The reason why the owners had to let them go because they're running out of table food. they're running out of table food. Hold on one second. Q, you need to keep up. Come on. They're running out of table food, and they can't keep sharing their table food with their dogs. And they love the animals, and they kind of like just let them out. The dogs are crying on the porch and all that stuff. And they start wandering around sniffing for water and stuff like that. As if these scenarios are so far-fetched. These scenarios are not so far-fetched, being what's brewing. What's brewing? A lot of people do have no clue about what's coming to this society. A lot of people have no clue what's coming to this society. And that's just a small scenario to consider. All these domesticated animals having to go back to a wild nature to survive. Having to combat against Dobermans, pit bulls. Even like the other day, some little Shih Tzu ran up on the dogs and myself, and he got close to us just to bark at us and turn around. Like the heart of these animals. What happens when they get so hungry and they are like, yo, he looks pretty tasty. She looks pretty tasty. Now we're going back to the parents. Parents, what's going on in society? People should be getting their family in shape, conditioning themselves, because you're gonna have to go back to the old faithful 2:10, 2 feet 10 toes. Look at the gas. My partner who came to pick up the dogs yesterday, for the second time, he was struggling to get diesel gas for his truck. What happens when we run out of gas? And you're not conditioned to walk. You're not conditioned to run. And you got some wild domestic animals gunning for you and your precious little girl. What you gonna do? It's just story time of walk and talk. Just food for thought. I always will say this to one of my colleagues. Don't be an enemy of yourself, because you have plenty of enemies. So to me, in that scenario, you can't be the reason why you can't get away. You can't say, oh, I got a cramp. Oh, my legs hurt. Well, you lunch meat. You got yourself to thank. You got people who know that things are getting bad and are doing the necessary steps, training their families, preparing their families. For what possibly could come. And guess what? If nothing happens, then that's good. Great. But if something does happen, at least they're more prepared. And more than anything, the best way to be prepared is to be mentally and emotionally strong. You're gonna need that. We're all gonna need that. Because what's coming to this place based upon prophecy, and based upon what you see in reality. China, Taiwan, Russia, America. Things are brewing up. How men today, they so effeminized, willing to snap on the next human for little to no reason. And you gotta get ready for that, because what happens? People can go to whatever restaurant they want to right now, and they still be wilding out. Imagine when the food gets scarce. And we had a sneak peek of that. I remember a year ago, there was limitations on how much food you can purchase. 3 packs of chicken per house type stuff. The stores got a 3-day supply. All these type of things you don't hear people talking about. And everybody say, you want to have a successful internet business? You want to have this? You want to get to the bag? Okay, you got a big old bag, but you have no understanding. You don't know how to patch a wound. You don't know how to stop bleeding. You don't know how to self-defend. You know what I'm saying? All these type of things that is being promoted, and it's one-dimensional. There's nothing wrong with getting to the bag, but you gotta have a purpose for that bag. You gotta have wisdom. You gotta have knowledge. You gotta have understanding. You gotta know your environment. So just a food for thought, something to think about. Men, I'm talking to you, and women, I'm talking to you, because there's some extraordinary women on this earth, and y'all must pay attention. You must obtain all the knowledge you can right now while the getting is good. Because then your knowledge will be tested.